Al Capone, the Dark Empire of Chicago 1. Roots of a gangster, Alphonse Capone, born in Brooklyn, New York, was the son of Italian immigrants. He grew up in poverty, where street fights and petty theft were part of daily life. By his teenage years, Capone had already been expelled from school and drawn into local gangs. In the back alleys of Brooklyn, he learned that violence and loyalty were the two currencies that bought survival. 2. The First Blood Capone quickly became known for his quick temper and ruthless fists. A knife scar earned during a bar fight gave him the nickname Scarface. That scar would later become both a badge of fear and a mark of his violent rise. He became muscle for small-time gang leaders, discovering his taste for power. 3. The Chicago connection opportunity came when Capone moved to Chicago in the early 1920s. He joined forces with Johnny Torrio, a seasoned gangster who taught him the business of organized crime. Torrio recognized Capone's potential and slowly handed him control. Chicago's political corruption and law enforcement weaknesses made it fertile ground for Capone's ambitions. 4. The Prohibition jackpot. When America banned alcohol in 1920, Capone saw gold. He built an empire smuggling beer, whiskey, and rum through hidden tunnels, trucks, and speakeasies. Every bar that served alcohol in Chicago was either paying Capone or being destroyed by him. Prohibition turned crime into business, and Capone was its king. 5. Blood on the streets. With power came enemies. Rival gangs challenged Capone's control over Chicago's liquor trade. Street wars broke out, bullets tearing through cars, homes, and nightclubs. Chicago earned the nickname the murder capital, and newspapers counted bodies almost daily. For Capone, violence was not a last resort, it was business strategy. 6. The St. Valentine's Day Massacre. Capone's most infamous strike came on February 14, 1929. 7 members of Bugs Moran's gang were lined up against a garage wall and executed with Tommy guns. Though Capone was never proven to be directly present, the massacre cemented his reputation as a ruthless crime lord who ruled with fear. 7. Money, power, and corruption. At his peak, Capone's empire made over $100 million a year. Politicians, police officers, and judges were all on his payroll. He built luxurious hotels, nightclubs, and gambling dens. To the poor of Chicago, he sometimes played the role of a generous benefactor, giving away food during the Depression. But behind the smiles and handshakes lay rivers of blood. 8. Public enemy number 1. By the early 1930s, the federal government could no longer ignore Capone's empire. The press named him public enemy number 1. Crowds cheered him in public, but the FBI and Treasury Department were plotting his downfall. Instead of taking him down for murder, they decided to target the money trail. 9. The fall of the kingpin. In 1931, Capone was convicted not for violence, but for tax evasion. His empire crumbled as he was sentenced to 11 years in federal prison. He was sent first to Atlanta and later to Alcatraz, the cold fortress where his power meant nothing. The once untouchable gangster was now just another prisoner in a cell. 10. The shadow legacy Capone was released early due to illness, his mind broken by syphilis. He spent his final years a ghost of the man who once ruled Chicago. Yet his story continues to live on in books, films, and history lessons as the face of organized crime in America. Al Capone remains both a legend and a warning of how crime can build empires but also destroy them.